Okay, so this feels like I'm speaking to a collective that has always felt different since birth, always felt like they had a bigger mission and purpose and destiny in this lifetime. They always felt different from others. People with a spiritual, divine mission anchored in truth. And it's really interesting because I just feel like that is the collective that I call in. Like if you are watching, you are one of like the spiritual warriors. You have always known that there's more to this world than whatever is presented. Like you see through illusion. And you've always had different experiences, different thoughts when you were little. Like that, if that is what resonates with you, like you are who I'm speaking to. Because I had no idea what I was going to talk about today, like what was supposed to be channeled through. I literally was just like, okay, what's the message today? And I did turn to my cards, and it's really funny. I'll show after. But they're from two separate decks, and they look the same. And I understood the message, and I believe that as I continue talking, it'll come through me. But I understood that this is a very highly spiritual collective. But I know spirituality is such a broad term and encompasses so many aspects. So let me be clear. These are for people who literally cut through illusion, who stand for the truth, not just your truth, not your personal truths, but the truth, like a universal, fundamental truth, right? Because in spirituality, there can be a lot of fluff. So I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to people who, like, they resonate with spirituality, but they resonate with like the fundamental truth of it. And that is their mission. That is your mission, to bring these truths. It's like these ancient truths into this world, back into this world. So you, for sure, have resonated, and you know that you've had, like, you're an old soul. You've had, and like, again, everyone is kind of like an old soul, but what I mean with this is like, you were always told this when you were little. You yourself have known that you've had many lives um, on this planet since you were young. Like no one had to like tell you this. It was like encoded in your body, and there were certain wisdoms, like wisdom and truth, ancient truths that you hold within your body, within your temple, that you are being asked now to bring into this world. Like it is your time now. And I made a similar message, I think just the other day, about shining your like raw, authentic, pure light. So it's interesting. It is a very similar message, but different because I'm understanding what both of these cards represent. Very, very highly spiritual, someone who has been initiated throughout this lifetime to dive more into like these ancient fundamental truths. You've probably researched a lot of different things trying to figure out what fits and what doesn't. So you're not one that just accepts anything and everything. You are a very discerning soul, which is great. It's a beautiful thing to have, especially during this time when there's so much information floating out there. You're very discerning. You feel truth. You've always felt truth. And you've been coming back into that because there has been so much fluff and distortions out there and everything. And you've been calling back that truth. You have been coming back into your body to be able to feel truth again, because our bodies really do feel truth. Our bodies know, like, you are a very intuitive person, and you've been coming back into that. You've been coming back into your intuition, into trusting your intuition. You've been doing so much purging and letting go and refining over the last couple of months now that you are coming back into your intuition. You are coming back into your discernment. You are coming back into what feels like truth to you. So you're coming back into that. And in a way, when you're coming back into that, you are coming back into the original mission, the original purpose that you have come to this earth at this time with, that you had to kind of let go of and participate in society the best way that you could, even though you knew that it was never fit for a soul like you. But you tried because it wasn't your time yet. You were like in the shadows again. Yeah, this is very reflective of the message that I gave yesterday, so my previous video. But what I'm understanding is, like, yes, you're this like highly evolved, initiated soul, and you know you have a bigger purpose and mission in this lifetime, and you're now honing in on that and understanding, like, you are understanding how to share it with the world, because it is your time now. It is your time to now share these gifts, this like encoded wisdom in yourselves. Like, you are meant to share that with the world because it is your time now, and you are the type of soul that doesn't allow your ego to go like haywire, which is why, again, it is your time now, and which is why you are also very discerning, because someone who can't be truthful within themselves, they don't know how to be discerning, right? Because then they have to look within themselves and be discerning with themselves and be like, wait a minute, what I'm doing is not true. What I'm doing is like, there's distortion in it. And if they're not willing to look within themselves at that, they can never be discerning with other things. And that takes a lot of courage, to be able to look within yourself and be discerning with yourself and be like, is this actually true? Yes, I've had this thought. Yes, I've had this idea, whatever, but is it true? Is it the fundamental truth? Can I actually trust it? And that's such a brave thing to do. And when you can do that within yourself, you can do that with everything else, which is why, again, you're being called into sharing your light, sharing your gifts with the world, because you've been so discerning within yourself that now you can do that on the outside, and people will be able to feel your truth. Like, again, it's not just your truth, but the fact that you stand for the truth. Again, fundamental, universal truths, right? And you're someone who always, like, spent a lot of time always, or was very fascinated with like the higher consciousness, spirituality, um, we're almost like you used it as an escape from society because you never felt at home here, and you felt more comfortable in like the mystical realms, which is really like the truth. But with these two cards that I pulled out, there's an element of honoring the earth, of honoring that you chose to be here at this time. And I know how triggering that can sound, because like that even applies to me. And it's like, what? I didn't choose this. I wouldn't choose this. I wouldn't choose this. And ultimately, there is a part of your soul that did. And I know, I know how that might land, where it's like, no, no, I did it. But you did. And you did because, again, you're just that type of soul that stands for the truth and is discerning and would never allow their ego to just go crazy, right? And I'm not saying ego is a bad thing, but what I mean is like, you wouldn't let pride take over and then start becoming someone you're not because you're getting recognition and etc etc, right? You're always so self-discerning with yourself that no matter what happens, you always stand for the truth. And that's a very, very beautiful quality to have. That's so integral and whole. And that is why you're being called to share your wisdom. But a very important piece and element to this is recognize that yes, you've been called to be here at this time, and recognizing that Earth right now is our home. And we are also doing this to help Earth. Because Earth is, in a way, this beautiful living being. And she right now, and I'm just saying she because we do call her Mother Earth, needs people like us to speak these truths, but also to integrate it with Earth, with having respect for the Earth. Because yes, you like to spend a lot of time in like the spiritual and mystical realms, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what you're learning right now is balancing the both out. Because just as much as it's beautiful and amazing to live in these like mystical realms and connect with like the higher consciousness, it's also understanding that Mother Earth is a living being and has encoded wisdom within her. And it's really interesting because this is something that I myself have been tapping into, understanding the balance of both and working with both elements of like Earth and the higher consciousness, right? Because those two aren't separate. They really aren't. And it's reminding me of the quote, as above, so below, as within, so without, right? It's just reflections of both. And again, I know for the longest time you like to spend it out, like, the 5D consciousness, whatever you want to call it. But we need to learn to bring it down and to balance it with Earth, because that is what is needed right now, is learning how to come into balance with Mother Earth and bringing that wisdom down here, like rooting it, finding a stable, grounded place Because us, yes, we are these beautiful spiritual beings, but at the same time, our bodies are from Mother Earth. And when we can recognize that we are living in this like beautiful temples in our bodies, we tap into a different type of wisdom, a different type of encoded wisdom within our own cells and our own blood. So, yeah, right now you're being asked to balance out and get more in touch with Mother Earth, which is the feminine essence. So, the feminine qualities within yourself. So, even if you're a guy that's watching, it's tapping back into the feminine because it's the balance of both. Because when we live too high in the like upper realms, we get out of touch with our feminine side, with Mother Nature, with Mother Earth. And we need to realize that there's just as much wisdom in Mother Earth. And yeah, it's being called back into that. It's being called back into balance with the feminine essence, because it's realizing that the feminine essence carries so much wisdom that is needed to be remembered right now. And it's merging the two together. Yeah, it's merging the two together. Because it's time to restore the balance in our planet, in humanity. And you can't just do that with living in like the 5D, right? Yeah, you're being called to connect with Mother Earth. So if you've been meditating a lot, yes, it's a beautiful thing. I meditate too, but you're being called right now to go out into nature, spend more time in nature, connect with waterfalls, connect with trees, with the animals, connect with nature. Like put your hands on the ground and speak to Mother Nature and see what comes through you. Because it's almost like you're gonna understand, yeah, you're gonna understand your mission and your purpose much more when you invite this feminine essence back in, when you connect with Mother Nature. Because if you have been confused about your mission or your purpose, or like how to like deliver it in a way that people will get it, you're being asked to connect to Mother Earth. The more time you spend in nature and get quiet and actually speak to Mother Nature, speak to the elements. Yeah, you're there's something there, and it's going to come into, it's like the cells in your body will reawaken. The very wisdom within your body will reawaken, and it will tell you the next thing, or how, whatever gift you have to share with the world, how to like deliver it. Yeah, I'll show you the cards because it's literally like, it's this, do you see like how it's the same? And this is like Gaia gateway activation. This is all about connecting to the spiritual higher levels of consciousness, but this is bringing it back down into earth, right? And we got the dragon, which is connected to the feminine essence. rainbow, which to me is just higher levels of consciousness. Like, yeah, it was like very clear when I saw these two, and these are from two separate decks. It was so clear. And it's really interesting because this has been something I have been doing within myself, and very like not consciously. It was just something that I guess was driving me towards reconnecting with my feminine essence. It's been something I've been doing the last year and a half, but then really connecting with Mother Nature and getting the wisdom from Mother Nature the last like 6 months. So you're being asked, go out to nature. There's something there for you. Spend time in nature. Connect with the feminine. Connect with the feminine essence within yourself. There is something there. And the more time you spend in that essence with Mother Nature, with the feminine essence, you're going to get clear on how to deliver your gifts, on like what's the best way to deliver them. Yeah. I feel like that is the message. I hope this resonated with you. If you're here, then clearly it has. Let me know down below how this landed for you, and if you're going to go and spend time in nature, and what kind of downloads you get, what kind of gifts that you're sharing. I would love to hear. And yeah, I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.